Let's welcome back to another episode of Blunt Impact. I am your boy Chris G. Once again joined by my co-host, my tag team partner, the three-time baby making champion of the world. This is Ness. We are joined by our co-host, Mary Jane. We are the Pot Heels. We are here to talk about Impact Wrestling. We'd like to apologize for last week. We missed last week's episode of Impact. Well, for a number of reasons. One, it was my birthday. Two, Ness was gone. Three, AEW Double or Nothing was on, and it was fucking awesome. So we hope you've seen that roundtable. kind of a way to tie in what's going on into Impact because they do share a world champion. But we are going to get into the June 3rd. Happy birthday, Pops. My dad's birthday. June 3rd edition of Impact Wrestling. Ness, how you feeling today?
You know how I'm feeling right now. I'm not gonna let the people know, but let's just say, guys, don't eat hot and spicy shrimp bowl ramen. I'll just leave it at that. But other than that, good to be back. Definitely ready for this review. Definitely ready to meet Mary Jane because it's been a while. So I'm hoping this can settle my stomach.
Yes. If you can't get the gist of what Ness is trying to say, just imagine your asshole as a flamethrower. That's what we got right now.
Yeah.
Full blast, and we're pulling the trigger 100%. But yeah, we're gonna get into this episode. Before we get into this episode, of course, we have to remind everybody at home, please hit those thumbs up, like this video, share this video, comments, let us know what you guys liked about this episode of Impact Wrestling. Let us know what we might have missed. Of course, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell in the corner. You know, you want some notifications when True drops a video, when Blunt Impact drops a video, hit that bell and you will be notified. And also, before we get into this episode, we will be lighting our Mary Jane. We will be counting down from 3, 2, 1. Ness is ready. I am ready. Let's get this bitch started. On the count of 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. First things first, a little bit of Impact news. Slammiversary on July 17th will be the first Impact show to have fans back. And it will be at limited capacity, but they will be having fans. As of this video, they already sold out. So it looks like we'll have a full crowd at Nashville for Slammiversary. So I'm looking forward to that. I think Impact's one of the companies that kind of needs fans back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
no more of that piped in crowd noise bullshit.
No, yeah. I'm tired of that pipe.
Yeah, that shit. Oh my god.
I'm not mad at the attempt, but you know. Let's keep it fresh. Let's get some fans out there. We are going to start this episode of Impact with the last 8 minutes of what was an Ironman match that started on BTI, which is before the Impact. It is a 1-hour show where they usually have a match. Nothing too crazy. But they decided to put this Ironman match on this BTI episode. Unfortunately, I did not get to see the first 52 minutes of this match, but the last 8 minutes of this Ironman match, which was between TJP and Josh Alexander for the X Division title. Change of pace. We got D'Lo Brown and Josh Matthews on commentary. The whole roster is out to watch this match. When we jump straight into the action, Josh is up 1-0, trading forearms until Josh finally overpowers TJP. He hits a beautiful moonsault off the top rope. Then a nice little powerbomb backbreaker of some sorts, and then his finisher, Divine Intervention, for the pin. I really wish I would have seen the other 52 minutes of this match because the last 8 plus minutes, including overtime, really kicked ass. It was a great way to start off this show. We see Josh and Josh backstage. TJP comes. He says thanks. They hug. TJP says, if this is the last time, I guess kind of hinting he might be taking some time off from Impact, but if this is the last time for a while that they have a fight, he couldn't be you couldn't be proud, even more proud of Josh and himself for what they did out there. Josh is the king of the mountain, though. He is the man until the world title is back in Impact. Then Chris Bay wants in. He wants a match, of course. Petey Williams wants a match. Ace Austin wants a match. Trey tries to bribe Scott with a few bucks. Scott ain't having it. So it looks like these men will be, well, one of them will be next in line for the X Division title. How'd you feel about this match? Did you catch the first 52 minutes of this match?
No, I did not. I caught the tail end of the match just like you. I actually thought it was I thought it was a botch on their part, showing like the last couple minutes. I'm like, shouldn't this be over if you guys got it on BTI? But nonetheless, that last 8 minutes was better than some people's whole 10, 15-minute, 20-minute matches that I've seen, over the years that I've watched wrestling. Like, these guys were going at it, and the intensity that they brought literally towards the end of the match, basically already wrestling for 52 minutes, and there only being one pinfall, or I think it was a pinfall, or just one score of a win, and that was for Josh Alexander. So these guys literally were just going pretty much the whole span of an hour almost with only one win in an Ironman match. Like, that's a lot of energy being exhausted. So again, that last 8 minutes, they just even went harder than, and I didn't see the beginning, the rest of the match, but what we seen that last 8 minutes, like, it was a lot of intensity, a lot of back and forth action, a lot of near falls. You didn't know who was going to pick up another victory or who was going to make it even, like if it was even going to happen. It was such suspense, such drama for this match. And then at the last second, literally, TJP picks up a victory to even the score, and then they go for another. It was only like 2 or 3 more minutes, but that last 2 or 3 minutes was just as action-packed as the rest of the match in general. So Josh Alexander, I love the shit talk. I love the confidence, post-match, when, after he and TJP embrace, he's saying, look, until the Impact, World Championship comes back to, somebody within the company, like, I'm the top of the mountain, like, I'm the guy. And, that's what they need for their X Division. Their X Division champ, like, is not an afterthought when you think of championships, especially the X Division, the staple, how much history and how great it is to the TNA legacy. I'm sorry, to the Impact. Well, yeah, TNA Impact legacy. He's at the front. He's at the forefront. He's the champion. He says, like, all challengers have to go through me. And what happens is, like, right after he walks away, Chris Bay comes up, Trey Miguel, Ace Austin, like, all these guys are saying, look, TJP couldn't get it done. I can be the one that can take it off him. And he's going to have bangers with all these guys. There are going to be all great matches. Like, I don't see not any of those matches being match of the night on their shows. Potential match of the year, who knows? We know that they're going to be phenomenal matches. So kudos to both TJP and Josh Alexander for the match, but, like, an extra kudos to Josh Alexander. Like, this title run, and I feel as though, like, this is what he needed. He's not with Ethan Page anymore. Ethan Page is in AEW. Like, he can really show what he can do on his own now. And then, like, being in the division of the X Division, that's where the action is, in my opinion. Like, every division, everything goes on throughout the show, but, like, you want that hard-hitting, fast-paced, high-octane action. It's the X Division, and the style that Josh wrestles. There's not too many like him in the X Division right now. There's not too many like him in the company in general. So with that style matched up against, like, the quicker guys, the high flyers and things of that nature, and also, other submission specialists like TJP, like, you're always going to get match of the night quality. Like, it's always going to be a banger. Sorry, guys. I mean to talk so much. I ain't been here in a week. You know, just hit the blunt for the impact. Back, baby. Yeah.
Get your shit in, pal.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Rohit Raju versus Jake something in a tables match. What I thought was a solid back and forth match, just maybe a little too long. Raju brings out a chair, hits Jake a few times. Jake fights back. Raju starts working on his arm, uses holds and the chair to just break down Jake something so he can't overpower him. Raju with crisp, explosive offense at times in this match. He looked pretty good. He had a nice, he had a low blow on the apron, like a piece of shit, of course, because he is one of the best heels at Impact. Nice little double stomp through two chairs while Jake was laying down.
Sick.
Yeah, that was a nice little spot. Raju almost puts him through the table, but we get a black hole slam counter. Throws a chair at Jake something. Jake something no sells it and spears Rohit Raju through the table. Good match. I liked it. I just think the first few minutes, I mean, we really didn't need it. We could have just went straight into the brawling outside. The action took out 3 to 4 minutes of this match, and I don't know. It just felt a little too long for my taste, but I still enjoyed it. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. It was good, but it definitely went a little too long. I like the idea of Rohit Raju knowing that he's not going to be able to outpower, out muscle Jake something that he attacked the arm. So that took a little bit of his arsenal away. That double stomp from on the chairs, that shit was so dope. Good match. It was a good match. Like you said, definitely a little bit too long. We could have did without some of the beginning of the match, but it was decent for what it was.
Next up, we got Morrissey backstage. He finds Scott D'Amore. He says he wants Rich Swann. He says, what a coincidence. Rich wanted you too, so you know what? That match is next. Rich Swann comes out, does his nice little elaborate entrance. He's dancing, he's grooving, he's bobbing, he's funky. Out comes Morrissey to attack him from behind during his entrance. Just destroys Rich Swann, beats the shit out of him outside, brings him into the ring. Security's here to help. They break it up. Morrissey channels his inner Latrell's free will, chokes out security. Matt comes out, hits him with the chair. Morrissey no-sells it like, motherfucker, you for real? You think that's going to hurt me? But Morrissey obliges. Security's there. Willie Mack's there with chairs. Swann's getting back to his feet. Morrissey leaves. We are going to have a match between Morrissey and Willie Mack next week. And then at Against All Odds, it will be Morrissey versus Rich Swann in a no disqualification match, if I'm not mistaken. Or actually, no, next week against Willie Mack will be the no disqualification match. And then Against All Odds against Rich Swann. So, I mean, not much here, but are you looking forward to see what Rich Swann can get out of Morrissey?
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely going to, well, I'm not going to say we're going to get this, but we definitely need to see a Morrissey that can hang with the pace of Rich Swann, because Rich Swann's going to definitely have to take control of this match. He's definitely going to be doing majority of the selling, which he's a great seller. Morrissey already looks good, so Swann will make him look even better. But yeah, like this is what it was. He'll probably beat what's his face, Willie Mack. This is no disqualification, or maybe Swann will come out and distract him with some shit. Who knows? But definitely want to see. I'm not really looking forward to them having another match, because kind of is what it is. I'm just ready to see Morrissey versus Swann, because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this one's a little different because there's no disqualification, so maybe they can cause a little bit more destruction. But I guess we'll see. Next up, we have Rachel Ellering. She's backstage. She's approached by Tennille Dashwood with Caleb with a K. Tennille, of course, trying to recruit. And Rachel Ellering is like, no, she was giving off that vibe yeah, sure, I'll hang out with you. But then Jordan Grace comes and interrupts like, you ready for our match? And she's like, yep, came perfect timing. So Grace and Ellering versus Fire and Flavor for the tag titles. power versus speed to start off this match. Jordan versus Tasha. Tasha with the heel tactics to get advantage on Ellering after a tag. For the most part, Tasha was getting worked on in the beginning of the match. But yes, the little advantage on Ellering. Eventually, we get a hot tag to Jordan. She overpowers Kiera. Tasha hits the code breaker behind the Rev's back. We get a false finish, 1, 2, 3. Well, almost 1, 2, 3. Nice little kick out. Then we get a nice little double team move, a nice muscle buster into a power bomb by Rachel and Jordan. I haven't seen that before. That was a pretty dope move. But too much. Rachel Ellering's outside going after Tasha. Tasha hits a DDT onto not the concrete, I want the padding, the stage, whatever you want to call it. Hit Jordan Grace with a couple double team moves, and that's it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They retain the titles. Grace Ellering, you gotta break up now, right? You know, they had one point in the match where it looked like they had a little miscommunication. So I think we're finally, hopefully, we're gearing up towards the Jordan Grace heel turn. But after this, we see Fire and Flavor. They see Scott in his office, or coming out of his office. They're talking all this shit. They beat everybody in the division. They don't got no more challenges left. But Susan and Kimberly have a problem. Susan, she has an issue with them. And she took it up with the manager. She went to see Scott about it. You know? Because she's a Karen. And she got her title match. I think we're done here. And they were done. Tasha Steelz calls him Beavis and Butthead, which kind of made me laugh. Because they kind of do look like Beavis and Butthead.
She was like, you touched me inappropriately.
You touched me inappropriately during the match. But, yeah, I'm just waiting for the tag. I mean, the match was cool. I liked the match. But I'm just waiting for the heel turn. And Susan makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, the match was good. It wasn't better than any other their previous matches. So, like, it was all right. I want to see where it goes with Jordan Grace now, or Rachel Ellering. Who knows? Because clearly, Jordan Grace is the weak link. You know, so it's just how she takes it, like, or it's how Rachel Ellering. And shout out to Rachel Ellering. She was slimming up. Like, not that there was anything wrong with how she looked before, but it just looks like she's been working out, like losing weight and trying to tone up. So, good job. Good job on her, Not that we buy her because we don't. She looked beautiful before. She looks beautiful now. But I'm just congratulating her on, if that's what she was going for, then good job.
Yes. I believe it was Isaac Newton who said, we love them all shapes and sizes. So that's how we feel here at True Heel Heat. Don't quote me on that. I don't think he really said that. Next up, we have Cody Deaner. He is taking on the debuting New Japan dad, Satoshi Kojima. Solid back and forth match. Nothing too crazy. Just Kojima getting his spots in. The nice little spam chops in the corner. Like his X button was broken. Doran tries to interfere, but Eddie comes in with Kenny, not Omega. His kendo stick, of course. During the distraction, Kojima hits the cutter. Then he hits the lariat for the pin, 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, we get a Valiant by Design vignette. Eric Young's not happy, but they can move forward from failure. But they're tired of Eddie Edwards. The K interrupts out of the blue. Eric Young says, I trained you, Steve. You should fucking know better. You shouldn't be dealing with me. We're trying to deal with me. So just for this, we'll see you guys next week. We're going to take our aggression out on you. So we'll have, not next week, but against all odds, the K versus Violent by Design for the tag titles. I was just happy to see Kojima. He's just in good shape. Somebody his age. I was just happy to see him out there with the young guys.
Yeah, it was just a good showing for him. Not much out of the
Yeah, it's basically hyping up his match for against all odds against Joe Doring, which they've had battles before in Japan. So hopefully this would be a hard-hitting affair. Before we get into the main event, we are going to touch on a few other segments. No Swingers Palace, unfortunately. We're just going to get that out the way, Daddy. We get a Rosemary promo.
But was in the subtle subtle shout out to Swingers Palace. He was in the crowd for. Oh, let me just say that too. The fact that the whole Impact roster was just out there watching the match, cheering them on, like that shit was special. Cause
Yeah, it was
clearly,
cool.
there's no fans, but you know, you at least you're out there. You have somebody to put a show on for, even though like it's a show, a TV show, and it's for the viewers at home. Like the crowd amps you up, and that basically family of Impact talent were there for TJP and fuck, that's what I smoked.
Josh Alexander.
I was about to say it, yeah, Josh Alexander. So yeah, but that was great. But in that crowd, it was Johnny Swinger and fucking Hernandez, and they just count money. Like it was count money when TJP was winning, and then when he was
running
losing,
the bets.
like,
It was running the bets.
yeah. It was like, oh fuck. So, but yeah, that's our Swingers Palace for this week.
Yeah, Swinger and Hernandez. We got a Rosemary promo. Creepy as shit. She's talking about her upcoming match against Deonna Purrazzo against all odds for the Knockouts Championship. But Havoc interrupts. They have a love-hate relationship. They're like been on the same side. They fight together, but Havoc still wants the title. So Rosemary gives her another shot. And we're going to get another match next week. Rosemary versus Havoc. If Havoc wins, she gets into the match at Against All Odds and becomes a triple threat. We see Deonna Purrazzo backstage in an interview. She's not happy about this. She's kind of bitching and moaning about it, but she talks about doing what she does, being the best, and somehow, some way, she will overcome the obstacles.
It's Against All Odds against Demon Slayer, Deonna Purrazzo. Put some respect on her name, Scott.
Damn you, Scott. Brian Myers.
It's pretty fucking funny. I'm not even gonna lie. This
is the must-see segment of Impact this week. Brian Myers and his class on teaching you how to be a professional wrestler, and he's taking Sam Beal under his wing. He's telling him, his look is all right. It'll look better if you put some of my merch on. So he makes him wear his merch. Says it looks way better now. You look like a superstar, like a champion. He wants to see his entrance. So Sam Beal does his entrance. He does his music. He's doing the crowd. He does his own pyro. Myers is like, you didn't even have music. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm going to show you how to do this. He puts his music on. He says, this is how this music gets people pregnant. I'm not sure that's how it works, bro. But he comes out, he does his little spiel. He's wearing the mask. He takes the mask off. Sam Beal says, why are you wearing the mask, bro? I thought you got both your shots. It's not that type of mask, bro.
Yo, I lost it when you said that shit. Oh my
God. That was like the icing on the cake.
Like,
why are you wearing that mask?
I thought you already got your 2 shots.
Yeah, you got your 2 shots. It's not that type of mask, bro.
Oh shit.
I hope they keep running with this. This was a good segment, especially for Brian, because he is a funny guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm a fucking fan of Brian Myers now. When the fuck did that happen? It just happened organically. Like I still.
This is what happens when you get a shot to be yourself.
Because he's definitely been having better matches recently. So I might be a fucking fan of Brian Myers. Shit.
This is what happens when you get the chance to be yourself.
Yeah.
And last up of these segments, we have a vignette. It is Steve Maclin drinking Jameson. It looks gangster. He is coming to Impact Wrestling. This is the former Steve Cutler. WWE. He was part of Forgotten Sons. He was cut for no good reason because the guy who got them off TV is still there in the actual program getting TV time. You ask me if that makes sense.
What I hear,
does the cat lick its ass? I don't know.
And I don't watch it, but from what I hear, they might be trying to make him a face, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he got the whole good old boys to follow him. He's straight. He got a good
Oh no,
following.
no, no. I meant the guy style. I meant Riker.
I know he was
Oh,
so.
oh, oh, oh.
He, trust me, he'll have some type of following. Yeah, fuck.
But yeah, this was inevitable. This was going to happen because he's with Peraza. Of course, he was going to go to Impact. I knew that from the jump.
I didn't even know
You
that.
know,
So
he was with,
I'm happy.
yeah. Oh
Nah,
yeah,
I didn't know that. So
there you go,
that's a
right
good thing.
there.
So the main event, before we get into that, we got to talk about earlier tonight. We have the Good Bros and Don Callis backstage, and they're talking about last week how they beat up Moose and Sami and demolished their tag team because they had a tag team match against the Good Brothers, but they didn't work so good together. And they are the main event for tonight. The Good Bros spot the cameraman. Oh shit! Stooge alert! Stooge alert! They kick out the cameraman. We got a nice little Sami Callihan promo. He's not afraid of Moose. And Don Callis comes out of left field and interrupts. He's talking his shit. Basically calls him the bridesmaid. Always the side bitch, never the wife. Kind of harsh words. Very harsh words. Sami sends him away. Tells him get the fuck out of here. And then we get a Moose promo. He already beat Sami when he beat him and the other 4 guys in that fatal 5-way or the 6-way, whatever it was. And of course, out of right field this time comes Don Callis, the invisible hand just swooping in. Hey, Moose, putting him over. He's a fucking, we know you're going to beat Sami Callihan. You're a genetic beast. Nobody could stop you, blah, blah, blah. Moose stops him and says, to be honest, I stopped listening after you said, hey, man, how you doing? Tell your boy Kenny.
How disrespectful that is.
Yes.
Like this
Super.
nigga just had a whole his version of a conversation with you, like long ass paragraphs. He was just talking to you, and he stopped listening to you after the first 5 words.
And praising him too. Like he was like giving him a hand job, and then Moose was just like, no, like just stop. It's a metaphoric hand job. It's not a real, not a physical hand job.
Well, I would like to hope not.
Hey Moose, how you doing? Oh man, where the fuck did this episode go? It turned into this. Tell your boy Kenny to keep that belt shiny to end that segment. That was a good one. And we finally get to the main event. It is Moose versus Sami Callihan. Moose quickly overpowering Sami, but then Sami attacks him on the outside. Get a little commercial break. Moose regains the momentum. After a little back and forth here and there, Moose does a nice he almost cleared the top rope. He did the second to the third rope first to get on top of the top rope while Sami was there, and hits a nice superplex. Really good back and forth shit. The Good Bros eventually run in, jump both guys. Kenny Omega and Don Callis arrive. They beat down these 2 guys to end the show. Scott D'Amore approaches these guys backstage. They're celebrating. Oh yeah, we beat these guys. We just messed up the main event, the future main event, whatever. And Scott has the idea, why not, of booking a triple threat at Against All Odds between you 3 guys, because technically you hit Moose, or you hit Sami, which makes Sami the winner. So he has a claim at a title shot. Why not make it a triple threat? Don Callis says Tony Khan will never go for this. Interesting enough, Scott D'Amore has already spoke to Tony Khan, and he'll be there next week to settle it. A lot going on for next week, going into Against All Odds, which they're booking a nice go home show for that special. But I thought the promos throughout the night were great, and then the match itself was pretty good. So how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I agree. As much as Sami doesn't like Moose and Moose doesn't like Sami, they equally hate Don Callis, Kenny Omega, and the Good Brothers. So that's where their respect is, at least. Match was decent, probably match of the night. I like the fact that Sami worked the arm of Moose, like the injured arm. That was pretty smart of him because he wasn't going to outpower Moose whatsoever. Moose had a couple great spots in the match. Now it's a triple threat. Somebody gonna take the fall. I think it'd be Sami. Probably Sami take the fall so he can keep Moose strong. Like I think it was too soon for Moose versus Kenny for a title, like because he's not gonna win. Like or if he does win, Kenny Omega's not getting pinned, but like that's the dynamic it can be now. There was no dynamic before. Like it was just Moose versus Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's gonna definitely beat Moose, but now with Sami added to the mix, it could be a fall or what may have you. Well, we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I'm here for it now. But the ideal decision would be for Sami to get pinned and then keep Moose strong, keep it going. Like not rocket science.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing to make this a triple threat, right? Because like you said, Sami could take the fall. You can still keep Moose looking strong. You could still have Moose have that claim, but you never beat me. And you could always you can still build that chemistry between Moose and Kenny all along the way too. So when they do have that match, it'll be an absolute banger. You know what I mean? So I think it's wins all around. Putting Sami in the match is absolutely no problem with it. Sami's good. He's creative. Him and Kenny will do some sick shit to each other, I imagine, eventually in some sort of way. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope next week, I'm pretty sure Tony Khan, being the ultimate babyface that he is, will book this triple threat match. So we'll see what goes on. But we want to thank you guys for sticking with us for another episode of Blunt Impact. Next week, we will get into Against All Odds predictions. But for this week, we have to say goodbye. Ness, where can we find you at?
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Skinny__Kravitz. That's updated. I don't know why I ain't do it before, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. You can catch me on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. One half of Blunt Impact and Trusted Jabronis, my man Chris G, from the Pie Heels. You catch me on NX3 with, once again, me, Chris G, and RAC in The Place to Be. We review NXT. True Hill Heat, fire over here with these bars. And also, you catch me on Fusion of Honor with my man Stag King, man of 1,004 numbers. We review MLW Fusion and Ring of Honor. And as always, you can catch me on True Toxicity. Luster's voice. Yeah, I fucked it up, but I say that shit all the time. You know what's up.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TrueHeelChrisG. Right here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, of course, Blunt Impact with the 3-time baby making champion Ness, as well as NX3 with our good brother Romeo Anthony Colon, Joints and Jabronis, True Toxicity when we come back from break. You never know where else will pop up. Probably do a Against All Odds special, so you can look out for that in the next couple.
Yeah, the round table.
Next
incoming weeks. Say that on the round table. Catch me out. I think I did say it. Now that I think about it, I'm just high, man.
You're just high. I'm just high. I hope everybody at home is high, and I hope you're happy, and I hope you're satisfied with another episode of Blunt Impact. Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, get those notifications up.
Bump the budget.
Bump the budget. The budget might not be that much because we have limited ads because we smoke. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. We're here. That's why we're here. That's why you're here with us.
$2 with Romeo on NX3.
Yes, that's the drinking show. The drinking show.
Yeah.
But for the baby making champion, the 3-time baby making champion Ness, for our co-host Mary Jane, I am your boy Chris G. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace out, sucker.
Sucker.